Mr. Speaker, poverty isn't just a problem in America, it is a crisis, and we're not doing enough about it. In September, the Census Bureau released the newest data on the number of Americans living below the poverty line. The report further confirms what my colleagues and I have been trying to get the majority in this body to acknowledge, and that is that poverty may be one of the greatest challenges facing our nation right now. The median household income stayed the same. The poverty rate remained the same as well. Women and minorities did worse than the average. Overall, nearly 15% of American families, almost 47 million people, earn less than $24,000 a year. But the fact that terrifies me the most is that the way we calculate the poverty rate has several inherent flaws. And when you dive deeper into the numbers on this issue, you come up with a picture of an America that's deeply broken. The poverty rate is just a snapshot of a single year. Last year, for example, 22% of all children lived in families that fell below the poverty line, something we should be embarrassed that we're not devoting more resources to fixing. But childhood lasts more than 1 year. And when you look at the span of a childhood, you find that nearly 40% of our children have spent at least 1 year in poverty, double what we see in a single year. We've got more living in poverty than most developed nations. That alone should serve as a wake-up call to all of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle who so frequently invoke the need to protect our children's futures when they're debating bills here on the floor. But in case that's not enough, here's another indicator. The number of people living in high poverty areas, better known as slums, doubled between 2000 and 2013. That's a very big deal because living in an impoverished community fundamentally changes the future of children. Study after study has found that they're more likely to be poor later in life, less likely to achieve in school, less likely to find jobs, less likely to achieve the milestones necessary to change their trajectory, like graduating from high school and attending college, and more likely to end up in one of our penal institutions. But the biggest problem, Mr. Speaker, is that we're not doing enough to fix poverty. In fact, in some cases, we're making it worse. Take housing assistance programs, for example. We leave it up to the states to dole out funds for low-income housing programs. These states then place the overwhelming majority of low-income developments in already low-income areas, depriving those families of the quality schools, the access to jobs, and the variety of social services that more affluent communities benefit from. At home in New Jersey, I fought hard against just such discrimination with legislation that required that all communities must build affordable homes. We need the same kinds of initiatives at the federal level, laws that will ensure affordable housing exists beyond urban and lower income boundaries, that will give working families access to child care, that will lower the cost of college and increase wages. We also need to think about what it really means every time we deny a cost of living increase, refuse to give federal workers the pay they deserve. Groceries still cost more every year. Rent still goes up. Bus fare gets higher. We're asking them to do more with less because we're unwilling to enact policies that actually work, and that's flat out wrong. Mr. Speaker, for many of the challenges facing our nation, we have yet to find a clear solution. Poverty isn't one of those. With the willpower to act, we could eradicate poverty and build a stronger future for generations to come.